Prison Civil Rights Union says they're aware that some police officers in the Western Cape had salary deductions. Now, Popcru says this has placed many in financial hardship, and of course, these salary deductions go over and above what was meant to happen. Some of the officers have told the Cape Argus that they were evicted from police barracks in Parkhof in Kenilworth. Joining us is Thulani Ngwenya, that is from Popcru, and he's the president, of course, of Popcru. Ngwenya, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Let's just very quickly get to the bottom of this, if you will, then. So these are deductions that were made with regards to the barracks that people had actually moved out of, and yet they were still being charged for. Am I correct?
Yes, Arabile, good evening, and good evening to your viewers at home. But let me clarify this upfront. These were unlawful deductions because somebody has failed to do his responsibility to comply with the policy of housing in the SAPS. Then when members stayed in the merit quarters or barracks, they have to confirm and sign a document as per the policy to say, this is what I'm going to pay, this is what I'm going to stay here for this long time. But somebody have neglected this job, he has not done anything, those policies and forms have not been filled. Subsequent to that, then they said members that they have overstayed, let them move out of the houses. After moving out of the houses, some of the members, they followed by a state debt, which was registered, wrongly so, sent to head office to say they must deduct the money, of which we want a full-blown investigation on this matter to say who has neglected his responsibility.
Yeah. I mean, in some of the cases here, according to reports, it's left with some people with only 28 Rand in their bank accounts here. What's the response been from the SAPS with regards to this?
The provincial office of Popcru in Western Cape, they started trying to engage this since last year, wanting to bring management on the table, but they refused. They said, no, it's national. Then they escalated the matter to us at national. We have then notified national office, of which national office wanted a detailed report as to who has neglected the job, because the provincial commissioner also should have been aware of this signing of this state debt to head office. The head of support also must be responsible because there is a supply chain head, there's also a finance head. All those documents, they via through all these processes. And subsequent to that, the provincial commissioner is notified before it can be sent to head office. That is the process of how documents find themselves at head office. Then head office implement the documents of which they've been pre-approved and checked and confirmed that everything is done accordingly. Only to find out those people, they lied to our membership, to our leaders at the province. They say, no, it's an instruction from national. When we ask about that instruction, there's no instruction which have been sent from national. And secondly, they are asking for a market price related rent, of which, if I can tell you now, parliamentarians, wherever they stay, they don't pay more than 1,500 Rand, which is rent. Then how can police officials, a constable who earns 15,000, a sergeant who earns about 15,000 and 18,000, how can they be afford to pay a rent of 10,000? What are they going to be left for living? So this is why we are saying this is uncalled for. Even the debt was never engaged with them to say, you owe us this amount of money. How much can you afford to pay? There was no acknowledgement of that. There was nothing. It's just an embarrassment that Western Cape management have done to expose the police officials who don't earn a lot of money. They want to subject them to do irregular things because at the end of the day, they don't have money to keep them through the month. They've worked the whole month.
Thulani, this is something that started at the end of December 2022. It's been, what is it, more than 2 years that, more than 3 years ultimately that we've been dealing with this issue then. At the same time, in what looks like a statement then, some of these officers, I believe it's about 24 of them, weren't even allowed to speak to the media. What's the reason for that?
That is the where you see how difficult it is to work for this department called SAPS. These members, they try to engage on themselves, but they were denied that opportunity. They came to us. We tried to engage following the rules of engagement, which is Agreement 2 of 2009, of which we agree on terms and conditions of the police to say if there are problems, we want to engage, we bring them on the table. They refuse. They don't want to come to the table. Only last night, they tried to call the provincial secretary to say, come, let's engage. After these things have been out now, has gone out on media to say, this is what is happening. They were shutting the doors. They did not want to talk to us. They did not want to do anything until we take it up as national to say, no, enough is enough. We can't let our members suffer in this way. Because if you talk to the media, they are going to charge you as a police official. But us as a union, we've got the right that we can expose these things which are happening, which is against the processes and also the Labor Relations Act.
Do you know if anybody else is living in those barracks right now, then, the ones that those people have actually moved out of, which would mean that the SAPS is ultimately charging twice? They're getting money illegally or unsupposedly, not lawfully, then from those that they're charging right now, and from those who are actually living in those barracks and receiving money from them too. Is that what you believe might be happening as well? Who lives in those barracks right now?
Our members are living in those barracks, and some of these areas that we're talking about, Orabile, are married quarters. They've got families. And then can you imagine, as a father, you work for the whole month, and it happens that you come back from work, you have earned 28 rand. It's an embarrassment in totality, in all. There are members, we have submitted all proof, including the 28 rand salary advice, that prove that the member did get that amount of money to head office. And head office is now asking them to come and account. We are still waiting for them that we can sit down around the table. But we want consequence management to the person who have neglected his duty, because if it was our member who have neglected his duty, who would have been charged now, who would have been dismissed, or who have been made to go through a disciplinary step. So we want even those senior managers, if it takes that, even the provincial commissioner himself, there must be an inquiry about who neglected the work that have made an embarrassment to the country and an embarrassment to the department, because this is bringing the organization into disrepute.
Yeah, I think the significance is also trying to get a word from police spokesperson here, Andre Traut, saying, who has said in reports here that support is available for members. The well-being and morale of our members remains a top priority for the South African Police Services management. To support this, various internal processes are in place and readily available to all our members. Do you know any of those members, what those internal processes are?
The internal process is when you enter a barracks, you sign a form. Secondly, if you did not pay, then they will tell you that you did not pay this amount of money. But fortunately, usually, it's not that member don't pay, because that money is deducted from PESAR.
Yeah.
But if you did not sign any form, was submitted to finance and so that there will be made deduction, you will stay there taking for granted that your money is being deducted, only to find out at a later stage you are told that you are owing. And it becomes as a surprise. Yes, I'm owing. Then let's sit down and agree. How can I address the debt?
Sure.
The other thing, what they do, they send you out. They say, move out of the house. Your time has lapsed to stay there. Where should those policemen
100%.
stay? Because some of them are not from Cape Town. They are going there for duties, if deployed in Cape Town. Where are they going to stay? They must go to the shacks and become exposed to dangerous situation.
Yeah, certainly a situation where we're asking the Western Cape Police Service then to join us on the show and help us understand this a little bit further, debunk any myths that they feel perhaps have been stated out, but really to deal with this situation as it currently stands. Ngwenya, Thulani Ngwenya, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Popcru president there, of course, the Police and Prison Civil Rights Union president, joining us as we get a hold of the story, just with regards to the charging of police then unlawfully for certain barracks in their areas.